So here we are looking at the law of sines, and we can use this in a couple different situations. Specifically when we have an angle, two angles and a side, or two sides and an angle. Again, there are times where we don't have these. We can use other formulas to solve, and then we can use the law of sines. But if we're specifically starting with an angle side or side angle, then we can immediately hop into the law of sines. So there's two different formulas. The one on the top, again, they're just kind of flipped around. It's just smart to use one or the other based off of what you're solving for. If you're solving for an angle, you want the angles in the top, versus when you're solving for a side length, you want the side length in the top. So you don't have to deal with a variable having to switch around. So we've got two examples there, but we're going to go through here and solve for angle B on this bottom left one here. And I have this angle and this side, which these have to kind of correspond in the law of sines. And I am looking for angle B, right? So I'm going to say sine of B over the corresponding side, which is 23, equals sine of 35 over the corresponding side of 45. Now I'm just solving for B. So I'm going to multiply 23 by both sides, which gives me 23 times sine of 35 over 45. And then again, to get rid of a sine here, I'm going to take the inverse sine of both sides. So sine -1 of 23 times sine of 35 over 45. And now I'm just going to plug that thing into my calculator. So inverse sine of 23 times sine of 35 divided by 45, which gives me my angle of about 17.05. And if we're double checking this here, just to make sure, right, the angle B is going to be smaller than angle C because the side that it projects to is smaller. So 17 semi makes sense. All right, so for the next one here, we say solve for side C. In this one here, I know angle C, and I'm looking for side C. So I want to say C over sine of 23. And then I have angle A here and the side across from it. So I'm going to say 15 over sine of 77. C equals 15 times sine of 23 because I want to move it to the other side. And now I'm just going to plug that into my calculator. 15 times sine of 23 divided by sine of 77. And that gives me my value here of about 6.02-ish.